LADA Between Two Worlds. Written and read by Nana Fox. Chapter 6. Finding Maz. LADA woke up alone and confused. For a split second she thought she woke up at her own house, but frustration replaced the feeling of calm. Maz was missing, and she was in an unfamiliar place, hosted by a complete stranger who claimed she was the guardian of the forest magic. LADA slept well in the feathery bed and felt energized, but couldn't tell how much time had passed. The room looked exactly the same as in the evening. There were no windows, so it was impossible to tell whether it was day or night. LADA walked out of the room, climbed the stairs, and was instantly blinded by the bright sunlight outside. The sun was much brighter than at home, she noted to herself. It was also very warm here. When she left home, it was winter. Here it seemed like summer. Where am I? The portal has probably taken me to the other side of the planet where everything is opposite. When in my country day, here is night, and when in my country winter, here is summer, LADA pondered. I'm upside down, she concluded. She took a deep breath and suddenly noticed the honey-sweet smell of the forest air. It was so unusual. She smelled deeper and looked for beehives. Instead, she saw little crystals hanging out on delicate threads all over the tree trunks. She thought those crystals may fit the amulet, and it would start working again, open the portal and take her home. But when she looked closer at one of them, she was surprised to notice that those crystals were drops of liquid that exuded the honey smell. She stuck out her tongue and licked one. It was sweet, and she instantly felt more positive and surprisingly full. She licked another one just in case. High up in the tree, Ruru was watching the girl, tilting her head from left to right. Those honey drops are produced by insects that live under the tree bark. LADA heard Ruru's voice and looked up. Many animals also lick in the sweet drops to keep them full, she continued. Ruru, you know so much about the forest and its magic. Can you help me to find my friend who is lost in your forest? LADA looked into the owl's round yellow eyes. Who is your friend? Asked Ruru quietly, flying to the ground. We came here together, Maz, the fox, and I. LADA didn't know the pearl spider followed them, so she didn't mention him. Foxes don't belong to this land, Ruru said with a kindness and sadness in her voice. We need to find him before something bad happens. LADA wasn't sure if she should ask how bad is the bad that could happen to Maz. Ruru felt uncomfortable thinking that a fox may be wandering in the bush, adding more disturbance in the already shifted forest magic. But she also didn't want him to get in trouble. She knew from her own experience how cruel humans were. Don't worry, I will help you to find Maz, and we will find a way to send both of you home. Ruru got closer to LADA, and they continued walking together side by side. This time, walking through the forest, LADA was admiring the scenery. The the peculiar ferns and palms, sky-tall trees covered in moss, dense nets of lianes, peculiar bird songs. They approached the collapsed tree trunks, and Ruru stopped. She noticed a subtle movement under the pieces of the bark. She flew closer and with her strong claws picked up a bark piece, revealing a small brown rat. LADA knew from her books that owls eat rats and mice, but she didn't want to see this happening. And it didn't. The rat raised her body and stood on her back feet, revealing wide underside. The rat reached out to the owl, and they touched their noses in a greeting. "Hongi," remembered LADA. "LADA, this is Kiore, my very old friend who arrived on this land with my ancestors." Ruru talked to the rat. "Have you happened to see a fox here?" "Yes, I almost got caught. But you know me, I always find my way out," proudly replied Kiore. "He left in the direction of the stream," she explained. "Na mihi nui, my friend, thank you. You have survived in this forest for so many years. Take care." LADA was fascinated by this unusual friendship between the owl and the rat. But everything in this forest was unusual, she thought. They continued, and slowly they reached a stream. The water was crystal clear and very fast. Ruru took off and flew across the river to the other side. She dug the sand and coarse leaves here and there with her strong claws. "I can smell an unusual scent here," she said. "I think Maz jumped across the stream and continued on the other side. I will help you to get across." "Maz!" desperately screamed LADA. "Where are you, Maz?" "Here you are, you little red bag." She heard a husky man's voice behind her. "I knew I will meet you here sooner or later, silly bugger. You will pay for what you did." LADA screamed. Ruru's heart pounded. The man with the white beard threw a net across the stream and caught Ruru. "Kwee! Kwee!" Ruru flapped her wings, losing feathers. LADA wanted to rush to the other side and help Ruru. She was thinking it was all her fault. She asked Ruru for help, and now they were both in trouble. The man moved closer towards LADA. "I know what I'm going to do with you. I will keep you as my maid. You have weird eyes. My friends would love to make fun of you." He raised his huge arms in an attempt to catch LADA, but suddenly Maz appeared on the other side of the river. "Hey, big ugly man, look at me!" screamed Maz. Ruru and LADA didn't make a slight move. The man turned around to see who was so brave to call him out. And this was his biggest mistake. As soon as Maz caught his eyes, he started his hypnotic speech. "Now listen to my voice and to what I'm going to tell you," said Maz in a calm and serene voice. "From now on, you will never hurt a living thing. You will defend this forest and its creatures from other men like you were just a second ago. Now you will lie down and fall asleep." The man dropped heavily and clumsy like a bag of rocks on the soft ground. "Maz!" LADA screamed, and she was so overwhelmed with happiness. She wanted to touch him and hug him. Maz untangled Hine Ruru from the net. She flew on the other side of the stream and brushed her wings against LADA's cheek. Maz easily jumped to the other side. LADA kneeled and took the fox in her arms. She felt his fur touching her bare arms, and she deepened her face in his chest, pressing very hard. When the hug was released, Maz looked at LADA's blue and green eyes and said, "I want you to meet someone. Come here, Lilia."